Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha Teacher. Children, we are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, isn't it? Because of that, we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean that we are going to stop learning. We are going to meet here regularly through the virtual training center to learn many lessons in EVS. So come on, let's go to a lesson in EVS. So children, come on, let's begin a lesson in standard 4th and subject is, yes, it is EVS 2. Now the lesson that we are going to learn today is lesson number 3 from your EVS textbooks, that is Maratha Sardars, the famous house of the Bhosles. So now let us talk about a little bit the background to this lesson. Now since we are learning about Maratha history, we are going to learn about Shivaji Maharaj. But then in the first lesson, we also talked about how Maharashtra was before the times of Shivaji Maharaj. And then in the previous lesson, what did we learn about? We learned about a very important thing which has got a very great impact on the history of the Marathas. So what was it? We learned about the work of the saints. So we talked about Sri Chakradhar Swami, Sant Namdev, and we also talked about saints like Sant Jnaneshwar, Sant Eknath, Sant Tukaram, Sant Ramdas, and we also saw that Shivaji Maharaj lived during the times of Samartha Ramdas, Sant Tukaram. He used to attend the bhajans and kirtans that were performed by Sant Tukaram and Samartha Ramdas. So now in this picture also you can see Shivaji Maharaj sitting there. Okay, can you see the sword and kept at the side, and just beside the sword you can see Shivaji Maharaj sitting there. So what happened because of the teachings of all these saints? The teachings of all these saints caused great awakening among the minds of the people in Maharashtra. And they started feeling that religion is a very important thing and we should be self-reliant. That is, we should try to depend on ourselves rather than depending on others. So depending on ourselves means that we should try to live for ourselves, work for ourselves, and we should also try to see that we are ruled by our own selves. That is how the idea of Swaraj came in. So the great awakening which was brought about in the people by the saints was one of the reasons which helped Shivaji Maharaj in his fight for Swaraj. So you see how important all this was. So we saw how the saints had a very, very important impact on the work done by Shivaji Maharaj in particular and the Marathas in general. So now let us talk about what the saints did. The saints, they preached devotion to God. Okay, they said that it is very, very important to be devoted to God. And because of all these things, the great Maratha Sardars, they were very brave already. They started a tradition of bravery. That is, they started passing on these ideas about self-respect and independence and not living under some other ruler, etc., from one generation to another. So in a way, it was the saints who was responsible for bringing about this bravery to the forefront. The Maratha Sardars, they were already very brave. Okay, it is not that they were not brave, but they got a lot of inspiration from the work of these saints. Now this was a period, children, like we all know, where there was a great unrest. We already learnt it in the first lesson, between two Islamic rulers in India, that is the Adil Shah of Bijapur and Nizam Shah of Ahmednagar. These two people were creating a lot of problems for the people of Maharashtra. And when we learnt that particular lesson, I showed you a map of the state where most of the territory in Maharashtra was occupied by these two people, the Adil Shah of Bijapur and the Nizam Shah of Ahmednagar. That means most of the people who were living in Maharashtra were living under their rule. But these two sultans, they were always fighting with each other. The two sultans were constantly at war with each other. And we also saw the bad effect of that war. because of the war between the rulers, the subjects or the people who were living in their kingdom were always harassed. Okay, they were always troubled. They were never happy. They were living under a lot of fear. And that is when Shivaji Maharaj decided to take the reins in his own hands. Now, apart from ruling the people, what they did was they used to make use of the armies of the Maratha Sardars. Now, how they used to make use of the armies of the Maratha Sardars? There were many famous Maratha Sardars at the courts of Ahmednagar and Bijapur. That is, in Adil Shah's court as well as Nizam Shah's court, there were a lot of famous Maratha Sardars. Now, these Sardars were very brave and they were very tough also. They were very fearless. Okay, and they had a very good quality in them, that is, they were very loyal to their masters. Loyalty, they would never deceive, they would never cheat their masters, and they would always be proud of their achievements on the battlefield. That is, when they came out to fight on the battlefield, they were like lions, they were like tigers. Okay, they were that strong, they were that ferocious, they were that brave. And so that is why the Adil Shah and Nizam Shah, they made use of the armies of Maratha Sardars when they were fighting with each other. Now you tell me one thing, these two were fighting for their own reasons. Now what was the reason or what was the need for the Maratha Sardars to get involved in their fights? But as I told you, the Maratha Sardars were brave, they were tough and they were loyal. That is why they stood with their Nizams or they stood with their rulers. Okay. Now, like I told you, they were very proud because they were brave, they were very tough also, and they never used to feel scared of entering the battlefield. So, all the Maratha Sardars, they had their armies also. So, each of the Maratha Sardar, when he used to join either Adil Shah or Nizam Shah, he never used to come alone. He used to come with his army. So, see, it was so beneficial for the two rulers, Adil Shah and Nizam Shah. Okay, the two sultans used to be very happy with these Maratha Sardars. Why? Because when the Maratha Sardars came to join them, they would bring their armies also. They had their own private armies. And the brave Maratha soldier with a spear in a hand and a sword at the side would ride in his Sardar's cavalry. So can you see? When the Sardar came, the soldiers also would come. Now the Sardar was loyal to the Sultan and the soldiers were loyal to the Sardar. So in a way, the Sultan reaped the benefit of the bravery or the loyalty of these Maratha Sardars. Okay, and in return, what happened? In return for the fights that happened between the sultans, and in return, as a feeling of appreciation, the sultans used to give these Sardars Jagirs. Okay, they used to give them a part of their kingdom in favor or as a gift. All right, and a Sardar who received such a Jagir would start calling himself as a Raja. Now, there were many Sardars like that. We are going to talk about them now. So, let us look at the famous Maratha Sardars. There were many Maratha Sardars, children, but we are going to look at a handful of them who were very, very famous. Who were very famous for what? They were very famous for their bravery, for their toughness, for their fearlessness, for their loyalty. Okay, for all these reasons. And they were big Rajas of that time. Why? Because they were so brave that the sultans were very happy, and therefore they had conferred or they had gifted them with huge jagirs. So these people, these Sardars, came to be known by the name of their jagirs also. So see, you have the Jadavs of Sindhkhed. So they belong to this place called as Sindhkhed. You can see the map of Maharashtra, the outline map, and somewhere in the middle towards the north you have this place called Sindhkhed. Now the Jadavs, they were the Rajas of Sindhkhed, or they were the Jagirdars of Sindhkhed. Then you have the Nimbalkars of Fulton. So this is a place called Fulton, and that place was ruled, or Fulton was a Jagir of the Nimbalkars. And then you have the Ghorpades of Mudhol. So there was this place called Mudhol, and the Ghorpades were the Rajas, or they were the Jagirdars of Mudhol. So you can see here, this is the emblem of the Ghorpades, which says Raja of Mudhol. Okay, so these people, they became very famous like that. And then you had the Morays of Javali. Okay, there was this place called Javali, and there was the Morays who were very, very famous there. And they were the Jagirdars of Javali. And then finally we had the Bhosles of Verul. Now if you look at the name of the lesson, children, the name of the lesson is the famous house of the Bhosles. So we are going to talk about Maratha Sardars in general, I told you, and we will be talking about the Bhosle kings or the Bhosle Sardars in particular. Okay, so the Bhosles of Verul were also a very, very famous, you can say, family of Maratha Sardars. Now, let us talk a little bit about the Sardars once again. We will talk about Bhosles in detail, but let us look at the other 4 Sardars that we talked about. So, the Sindhkhed belonged to the Jadhavs. Okay, so we say the Jadhavs of Sindhkhed. Then we had the Nimbalkars, they were from Fulton. Then we had the Morays, who were from Javali, and the Ghorpades, who were from Mudhol. So you can see these were the Sardars who were very, very famous, and then the most famous of them all were the Bhosles of Verul. Okay, and these Bhosles of Verul, they were the descendants of the Yadava kings of Devgiri. So they were the Yadava kings of Devgiri who ruled before, you can say, the medieval period, okay, or in the beginning of the medieval period. So these people, that is the Bhosles, they were the descendants, or they were the next generations of the Yadavas of Devgiri. And when we talk about Bhosle, or when we talk about Jadavs, we can also see this is the place where the Jadavs ruled, the Yadavs ruled. Okay, now Jijabai, she was one of the most important persons in the life of Shivaji Maharaj. Okay, and this lady Jijabai, she was from the family of the Jadhavs. Okay, now you will see that Jijabai was the person who inspired Shivaji Maharaj in order to work for, or in order to establish Swaraj in Maharashtra. And she was a daughter of Lakhuji Rao Jadhav of Sindhkhed. So the people, or these Jadhavs of Sindhkhed, they were the descendants of the Yadavas. So see, the name must have changed from Yadav to Jadhav. Okay, slowly as time passed. Alright, so this was about the famous Maratha Sardars. Now let us talk about the Bhosles in particular, and let us talk about how they were a very, very brave lot. So we talked just now about Jijabai. Who was Jijabai? She was the daughter of Lakhuji Rao Jadhav of Sindhkhed. Okay, now there were these Sardars, they were very brave, of course. Most of these Sardars were very, very brave, but they were all enemies of each other. Why they were enemies of each other, children? Let us look at all the names of the Sardars once again. So why were these Sardars enemies of each other? Because they worked for different sultans. So if a Sardar is working for Adil Shah, and if another Sardar is working for Nizam Shah, that means these Sardars do not have any enmity of their own. But since the sultans are enemies, they also automatically become enemies of each other. Okay, they never thought, these Sardars, they never thought that they could all unite and they could do something for their own people instead of fighting for these other sultans. Okay, these sultans had come and they had ruled their land. They were outsiders in one way. But it never occurred to these Sardars that they should unite, or they should come together and they should fight for their own people. They should fight for their own rights. So they always kept serving others. Okay, and most of them, they what they did was they would keep the tradition of Velar alive, but for someone else's use. So then we will talk now about the most important or the most famous of all the Sardar families. That is, we will talk about the Bhosles of Verul. Now let us talk about this important place. That is, this is a temple of Grishneshwar near the Verul caves. So it was very close to the place where these Bhosles were ruling, or where these Bhosles were based. Now Grushneshwar is another name for Lord Shiva. Okay, so the temple of Grushneshwar is this is as you see it now today. Today, if you visit Verul or near the caves of Verul, you will have this. You will get to see this very famous and beautiful temple of Lord Shiva, that is the temple of Grushneshwar. But once upon a time, that is almost 400 years ago, the temple of Grushneshwar was in ruins. See what the condition of the temple was. Okay, all the walls were falling off, and you will see that the temple was falling to pieces, literally. The walls had developed big cracks in them. There were big cracks in the walls, and the person who used to do puja there, that is the priest, he also had ran away. He also had given up on the temple because there was no place now. The temple was falling to pieces. There was no place where you could sit and worship the Lord. So the priest also had deserted the temple, and the temple, which was built in honor of a great god, it was totally neglected. Okay, so all the devotees who came there, they mourned over the sorry state of the temple. So the devotees would come, they would look at the temple, and they would say, oh, it is such a loss, and it is such a sad thing that this temple has to come to this state. But remember, none of them did anything. None of them thought about repairing it or taking an initiative to repair it. So this went on for many years. And then one day, there was a great devotee of Lord Shiva who visited the temple regularly. He would come regularly, even though the temple was in ruins. He would come regularly. He would put flowers and bale on the lingam. Lingam is the place of worship in a Shiva temple. And he would express his innermost thoughts to God. So see, when you go to a Shiva temple, you offer these particular leaves, which are called as the bay leaves. It is a kind of a compound leaf with 3 small leaflets, okay, and flowers. So he used to come regularly, and he used to offer his prayers. He used to offer the bay leaf to the Lord and flowers to the Lord. He also took initiative and carried out extensive repairs to the temple. He did not just think about how he should do it and why he should do it, and he did not feel sad, he did not feel bad, but he carried out extensive repairs to the temple, and he restored it to its original condition. He also made arrangement for the proper maintenance of the temple. Okay, now you will see that there were lights both inside and outside of the temple, and the lost grandeur of Grushneshwar was restored. So see, the Grushneshwar temple looks like this now. This picture we saw, see how beautiful the temple looks like now. And compare it with this picture. See how it was and see how it became. And all this, children, was due to the efforts of one person. He was Maloji Raje Bhosle. So now we are talking about whom? We are talking about the famous house of the Bhosles. So this was the person who started, or who is considered to be the most famous of all the Bhosles, Maloji Raje Bhosle. Okay, so Shivaji Maharaj and you can say Shivaji Maharaj's father, they are all descendants of Maloji Raje Bhosle. Okay, so they were called as the Bhosles of Verul. See, he was the Patil of Verul. Maloji Raje Bhosle was a Patil of Verul. Okay, and now if you see his father, who was called as Babaji Raje Bhosle, he was actually the Patil of Verul. Now he had 2 sons. So you can see the family tree over here. So you have Babaji Raje Bhosle on top. Okay, and he had 2 sons. One was Maloji Raje, that is, he was the elder son, and the other one was Vithoji Raje, and he was the younger son. Okay, and now their father, that is Babaji Raje Bhosle, he was the Patil of Verul village. Patil means, you can say, the head of the village in a way. Now this Maloji Raje Bhosle, his sons were Shahaji and Sharifji. We will talk about them later in the lesson. Okay, so he had 2 sons, Shahaji and Sharifji. And Shivaji Maharaj, that is the pride of Maharashtra, was the son of Shahaji Raje. So you can see the Bhosle family tree up to Shivaji Maharaj. Okay, so Babaji Raje Bhosle, who was a Patil, he had two sons, Maloji and Vithoji, and then Maloji had two sons, Shahaji and Sharifji, and Shivaji Maharaj, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, was the son of Shahaji Raje Bhosle. Okay, so this is about the Bhosles. Now let us move on a little bit more and talk a little bit more about them. Okay, so you can see that during the time of the Nizam Shah and Adil Shah, they were of course fighting with each other, but at the same time the Mughal emperor from Delhi, what did he do? He decided to take advantage of the fight between these two people, and he attacked the kingdom of Nizam Shah. So the Mughal emperor, he led his armies, he brought his armies, and he attacked the kingdom of Nizam Shah. Now this Maloji Raje and Vithoji Raje, okay, they were, I told you, the sons of Babaji Raje. They were very brave and they were very enterprising. Enterprising means they were very enthusiastic and they never thought twice before entering into a warlike situation. They also had their armies. Okay, they had many Maratha soldiers who were working under them. And when the Mughal emperor from Delhi attacked the kingdom of the Nizam Shah, that time Daulatabad was the capital of the Nizam Shahi. That is the rule of Nizam Shah. Nizam Shah ruled from this place called as Daulatabad. So you can see how the Mughal emperor from Delhi, he came all the way up to Daulatabad and he attacked Nizam Shah. Okay. At the same time, there was a very brave, another very brave person called as Malik Ambar. He was the Wazir, or he was the chief minister of the Nizam Shah. Now Malik Ambar, he was very wise also, and he was very able also, and he was a very, you can say, shrewd person. He knew how to make use of which people at what time. So these two brothers, Maloji Raje and Vithoji Raje, the sons of Babaji Raje, they came under the observation of Malik Ambar. Malik Ambar noticed these two brothers and he understood that these people are very capable. Okay, he said that they should be with us. They should be on the Nizam Shah's side. So if they are on the Nizam Shah's side, the Nizam Shah's army will become stronger and the position of the Nizam Shah will become better than that of Adil Shah also, and also he will be able to face the Mughal emperor if these brave Sardars work with Nizam Shah. And you will see that is how the Shah conferred on Maloji Raje the Jagir of Pune and the Supe Paraganas. So it was on the recommendation of Malik Ambar. Malik Ambar went ahead and you can see he recommended that Nizam Shah employ Maloji Raje and Vithoji Raje in his service, and he obeyed Malik Ambar because Malik Ambar was his chief minister, so he obeyed him, and that is how Maloji Raje and Vithoji Raje came to work as the Sardars or the very famous Sardars in the court of Nizam Shah. And then they went on to become very rich and they went on to become very powerful people. Okay children, so in this part of the lesson, let us talk about this part only, because now history when you study or EVS when you study, all these things have happened a long time ago, okay, when none of us were around. So it is a little difficult to understand these things. So if you learn too much at the same time, it will all go above your head. So let us see small portions in the form of a story. Okay, now children, after you finish watching the video, I have got a few small tasks also for you. Okay, so let us see what those tasks are. So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions and note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learned a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.